A broken sampler malfunctioned and created hip-hop's most sampled drum pattern 288 times.
Seeking people of the universe, this is yours.
A Bronx MC's rhymes became rappers' delight without his name, and freestyled verses scribbled right before the booth session changed underground forever.
Love to hear the story again and again about a rap dynasty that just won't end.
Before the golden age, 15 artists rewired hip-hop in basements while nobody was watching. The 808 accidents, the glitches that became more famous than the songs.
Bums and sister bite it. I wear no gold around my neck, just black medallions. I shoulder.
The production secrets that built the foundation. At number 1, you'll discover what Cool Keith and N.W.A created that still hasn't been replicated.
Fly girl is a girl who wants you to see her name, her game.
Number 15, It's Yours by Tila Rock.
Depending on moment or depth of bass, I don't really know, but somebody's.
He created Def Jam's very first rap single in 1984, before LL, before the Beastie Boys, before anyone knew what Def Jam would become. It's Yours, produced by a young Rick Rubin in his NYU dorm room, featured pummeling drums in complex 40-letter words that Russell Simmons called poetry.
Definitely, you will agree. Just let your mind be free.
The beat hits like thunder, while Tila Rock's voice rides over those hard snares and booming kicks. This was hip-hop, learning to punch harder.
Illustrating, description giving, adjective expert, analyzer.
Special K from Treacherous Three was his younger brother and originally supposed to record the track, but pushed his older sibling to take it instead. That decision changed history. The song became the #1 requested track on New York radio for weeks, moving from club to club like wildfire through the Bronx. It established the sonic blueprint for everything Def Jam would release next, that raw, unpolished energy that made hip-hop dangerous. This was block party fuel that proved rap didn't need sugar-coated hooks to dominate. From that Def Jam foundation, another Harlem legend was already rapping before hip-hop even had a name.
With the help of the mix board used in the crossfade, rhythm can be kept to a self-choice.
Number 14, Spoonin' Rap, Love Rap by Spoonie G.
You said I seen you once, I can't forget your face. You got style, got class. From this end.
Starting at just 12 years old in the mid-70s, this Harlem MC was composing slick narratives about Mercedes coupes and street romance in a conversational tone that nobody had heard before. His 1979 track Spoonin' Rap featured jailhouse references that predicted gangster rap by nearly a decade. Actual prison stories wrapped in that echoed Jamaican DJ style that made every bar hit differently.
Understand why they call me Spoonie G, the medicine man, because I do it with greed and not too much.
When Love Rap dropped in 1980, he became known as the Love Rapper, flipping hip-hop's entire focus from party chants to actual storytelling with plot and characters. He was an early member of Treacherous Three, and some historians credit him with originating the actual term hip-hop in his lyrics.
Smile in your face and talk behind your back, and when you get the story, it's never exact, some say.
His 1987 comeback album with Marley Marl and Teddy Riley became a massive worldwide club hit that's rarely discussed today. In 2008, VH1 ranked Love Rap number 65 on their 100 greatest songs of hip-hop list. Before LL seduced anyone, before Snoop talked about women, Spoonie G was the original cold-crushing lover who wrote the playbook. But one Bronx crew took live performance to levels that seemed impossible.
And then she looked at me and started to smile. She said, baby, let's have a little fun for a while.
Number 13, Cold Crush Brothers.
I tried, please, Mr. Grand Wizard, please, get to the jet set, young lady.
Founded in the late 70s, this crew featured Grandmaster Caz, widely considered one of the greatest technical rappers who ever touched a mic. They were legendary for pioneering harmony rapping, where multiple MCs would flow together in perfect sync, trading bars, finishing each other's lines, creating vocal arrangements that sounded like one superhuman voice. Remember Rapper's Delight by the Sugar Hill Gang? Grandmaster Caz wrote many of those rhymes, but never received credit or payment. Just watched his words become hip-hop's first mainstream hit without his name attached. Their singles throughout the 80s showcased technical precision that influenced everyone from Rakim to Big Daddy Kane. The Cold Crush sound was built on group chemistry that made solo rappers look incomplete by comparison. While they're best known for their electrifying live battles rather than studio records, their impact on hip-hop's performance culture and lyrical complexity can't be overstated. They proved rap was a team sport where the whole exceeded every part. While they refined group dynamics, one MC brought the first hardcore edge.
We're the best, we pass the test, no better.
Number 12, Cold Getting Dumb by Just Ice. Born Joseph Williams Jr., this artist brought raw, unfiltered aggression to hip-hop in 1986 with his debut album, Back to the Old School, produced by Curtis Mantronic. The production was revolutionary, 808s rumbling like earthquakes while drum machines chopped breaks into jagged pieces that felt mechanical and human simultaneously. Tracks like Cold Getting Dumb featured menacing rhymes over booming beats that were unlike anything else at the time. This was hip-hop learning to intimidate. Just Ice didn't talk about parties or romance. He talked about survival with that reggae-inflected flow on tracks like Little Bad Johnny that predicted KRS-One's ragga style. One of his tracks featured a young KRS-One and name-dropped everyone who mattered in early hip-hop, making it a 5-minute oral history lesson wrapped in battle rhymes. While he never achieved widespread fame, Just Ice's confrontational style influenced hardcore and gangster rap's entire development. This was trunk-rattling music that sounded massive even on cheap speakers, proving hip-hop could be legitimately threatening. From that hardcore energy, regional battles were about to explode. Number 11, The Bridge by MC Shan.
Reason them slugs, more love to those that died in the field. So many names don't got room to spin them, but through my...
This Queensbridge native played a crucial role in East Coast hip-hop through his work with the Juice Crew and producer Marley Marl. His 1986 single, The Bridge, sparked the infamous Bridge Wars with KRS-One and Boogie Down Productions, a 5-year battle that proved hip-hop's competitiveness could drive innovation.
Yo, for you, I take a fifth to the head until I Earl Boomerang done.
The beat on The Bridge features that Marley Marl signature sound, crisp snares, and layered samples that felt futuristic and grimy simultaneously. While KRS-One's response, South Bronx, overshadowed Shan's career, his 1987 debut album, Down by Law, remains an 80s classic featuring hard-hitting beats, clever rhymes, and gritty portrayals of Queensbridge Project life.
You better wake up, as you see, mega more mature, I'm on a regular with nature.
The album showcased production techniques that defined the era, that raw boom-bap foundation that every New York MC wanted. MC Shan's impact is significant in the context of regional rivalries and the rise of the legendary Queensbridge sound that later produced Nas and Mobb Deep. This wasn't just music, it was warfare fought with drum breaks and 16-bar verses. But some MCs were exploring completely different territories.
Hey yo, the Queensbridge Association breeds similarity. Bricked up, chipped off.
Number 10, Mythological Rapper by King Sun.
You were just a part of another dimension. I pay no attention to...
This underrated pioneer dropped Mythological Rapper, a monster single that blended ancient mythology references with street knowledge in ways nobody expected. His lyrical prowess combined Egyptian symbolism with project realities, creating an intellectual style that stood out in the late 80s. King Sun was part of the Native Tongues movement, but never received the mainstream attention of his peers like De La Soul or a tribe called Quest. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Like a waiter, deliver and cater, seek and destroy like a rap exterminator.
His production work featured innovative sampling techniques and jazz influences that predicted exactly where hip-hop would evolve in the 90s. That conscious rap sound wrapped in sophisticated beats. The jazz horns flutter over boom-bap drums, while King Sun drops knowledge that made you think twice about every bar.
Job is for a man, you don't qualify. I think that you are very dumb to even try to...
Though his discography remained relatively small, King Sun influenced every conscious rapper who followed, proving that commercial success and artistic impact don't always align. This was thinking man's hip-hop that rewarded repeat listening. If these underground classics are hitting different, drop a comment with your favorites so far. The real ones know these names. From conscious lyricism to pure party vibes.
I throw a rhyme like a pitch jetting over the plate. Think that you're the big...
Number 9, A Fly Girl by the Boogie Boys.
And I'ma be on your back, fly girl.
A fly girl, a fly.
This Harlem crew scored one major hit in 1985 with A Fly Girl from their album City Life, and for 3 minutes that track became an underground anthem that packed every club in New York.
Let me shut up for now, bye world. My name is Boogie Night and I've got...
The hook was infectious, simple, repetitive, impossible to forget once you heard it bouncing through speakers. Despite their brief time in the spotlight before disbanding by 1988, A Fly Girl showcased the New York club scene sound that dominated mid-80s hip-hop, perfectly. The production featured innovative drum machine programming and synthesizers that influenced the entire electro-funk movement. Those robotic 808s that made bodies move involuntarily.
Yes, the girls who please the Gemini, Scorpio, and yes, Pisces. I'm not
The Boogie Boys may have been a one-hit wonder, but that one hit captured a specific moment in hip-hop's evolution when the sound was transitioning from old-school party rap to the golden age's complexity. This was music designed for movement, nothing cerebral, just pure kinetic energy that made the dance floor erupt. Sometimes one perfect moment is enough, but one Brooklyn crew created something that refused to die.
She tends to act funny. She's got Gazelle and a B-bag too. Fly girl.
Number 8, Roxanne Roxanne by UTFO. Standing for Untouchable Force Organization, this Brooklyn crew created one of hip-hop's most sampled and referenced songs ever, with Roxanne Roxanne, released in 1984. The track told the story of a woman who rejected their romantic advances, and then sparked over 100 answer records from artists who wanted in on the phenomenon.
You thought you had a rope, you thought you was Cupid, but EMD, yo, rap was plain stupid.
14-year-old Roxanne Shante responded with Roxanne's Revenge, which sold over 250,000 copies in New York alone without any major label support. The Roxanne Wars became one of hip-hop's first major feuds, proving the genre's storytelling power could create entire movements. Every MC wanted to add their version to the saga. It was hip-hop's first viral moment before the internet existed.
No time, but stuck up Roxanne. Baby, don't mind. She thought my name was Barry.
UTFO's 1987 album Lethal remains underrated despite solid production, but their cultural impact through this single influenced battle rap and answer records for decades. When one simple story about rejection becomes a cultural phenomenon, you know you've tapped into something universal. This was hip-hop learning its narrative power. While East Coast battles raged, West Coast pioneers were laying groundwork.
To get this commentary, you never find a rhyme like this in any dictionary.
Number 7, Everlasting Bass by Rodney and Joe Cooley. These forgotten West Coast pioneers kept everlasting bass bumping throughout the late 80s, while everyone credited N.W.A. and Ice-T with inventing Los Angeles hip-hop. Their bass-heavy production style influenced the entire West Coast funk and G-funk sound that dominated the 90s. Those deep 808s that made car speakers rattle in lowriders across California. The kick drums punch through clean, then drop to complete silence before the bass explodes back in like an earthquake. Tracks featured intricate drum programming that showed West Coast producers understood rhythm as well as anyone in New York, just with different frequencies. While they never achieved mainstream recognition, their contribution to West Coast hip-hop's sonic identity remains significant, that trunk-rattling sound that made bass more important than melody. They proved innovation often happens in the underground years before the mainstream catches on and claims credit. This was hip-hop designed specifically for car systems, optimized for cruising Crenshaw with the volume maxed out. From male-dominated crews, one female MC broke through.
Joseph's fast as Carl. He's black, not Jewish.
Number 6, The Real Roxanne by The Real Roxanne.
Just died. I laughed so hard that my face turned blue. Why be a MC? You should learn.
Born Adelaida Martinez, she became one of the first female MCs to gain prominence in the male-dominated 80s hip-hop scene through sheer force of personality. Rising from the Roxanne Wars, her response track, The Real Roxanne, produced by Full Force, became a legitimate hit in 1985 that proved women could compete directly with men.
So do you know you didn't even pass? All you received was a kick in.
Her self-titled debut album from 1988 featured party tracks and battle rhymes that showcased sharp wit and confident delivery. She wasn't asking for respect, she was demanding it. The production was polished without losing that raw edge, featuring synthesizers and drum machines that sounded expensive.
And by the way, if I'm such a crab, why all your girls look?
While she never achieved the same fame as some male counterparts, The Real Roxanne paved the way for Queen Latifah and MC Lyte, showed them doors could be kicked open if you hit hard enough. Her contributions to women's visibility in hip-hop are significant historically, proving that women could hold their own in battles, and on wax equally.
That's what you get, cause I had enough, and that right mix master ice.
She opened doors for future generations of female artists by refusing to be polite about her skills. Still vibing? Hit subscribe. We're digging deeper into hip-hop's vault with every video. But before female MCs emerged, one crew pioneered the template.
Can't you understand? Roxanne, Roxanne.
Number 5. The New Rap Language by Treacherous Three.
And you will agree, nobody rock a mic like me. But special cases, I'm on the add us up with legal 3. And on the mic.
Formed in 1978 with Cool D, LA Sunshine, Special K, and DJ Easy Lee, they pioneered the multi-MC format where 3 voices created one unstoppable force. Their 1980 track, The New Rap Language, put them on the map with lightning-fast delivery and intricate wordplay that set new standards. This was speed rapping before anyone called it that. Body Rock showcased their ability to trade verses seamlessly, with Cool D emerging as the standout who later became a solo star. The drums snap while 3 distinct voices weave together, finishing each other's thoughts in ways that seem telepathic. They appeared on record in 1980 on the B-side of Spoonie G's Love Rap before establishing their own identity as the group that proved hip-hop needed multiple perspectives. Treacherous Three's influence on group dynamics and rapid-fire delivery can be heard in everyone from Run-D.M.C to Outkast decades later. They were true architects of hip-hop's foundation, the blueprint that countless crews studied and copied. This was hip-hop learning to harmonize vocally while maintaining individual identities. From Treacherous Three's foundation, the native tongues movement emerged. Number 4. Straight Out the Jungle by Jungle Brothers.
I'm right through it, and when I'm on the mic, I never stutter or stumble cause I'm a jungle brother.
Straight Out the Jungle, released November 8th, 1988, marked the beginning of the legendary Native Tongues collective that would change hip-hop forever. Africa Baby Bam, Mike G, and DJ Sammy B created cerebral rapping layered over African rhythms and jazzy horn samples. This was hip-hop expanding its sonic palette beyond breakbeats. The production features live instrumentation mixed with samples in ways that felt organic, not mechanical. This was Q-Tip's first appearance on an LP, appearing on tracks like Black is Black and the promo before A Tribe Called Quest made him famous.
Homes of 3 black stallions, I don't care for fair, cause fair's me. Out of 10.
The album received perfect 5 out of 5 ratings from both AllMusic and The Source magazine, and made The Source's 100 Best Rap Albums Ever list years later. I'll House You became the first non-Chicago hip house record to hit big in clubs worldwide, proving Jungle Brothers' experimental nature knew no boundaries.
Mankind, there ain't nothing to it. I just go ahead and do it. I lay down the jungle sound and run.
Though De La Soul and Tribe Called Quest gained more mainstream recognition, Jungle Brothers paved the native tongues path first. This was hip-hop learning that could be intellectual and funky simultaneously. But one duo created something entirely by accident. Number 3. Top Billin' by Audio 2.
Got it good since you understood. Would you stop
Brooklyn Brothers, Milk D and DJ Gizmo created one of the most sampled drum patterns in hip-hop history, completely by mistake. Released in late 1987, Top Billin' was the B-side to Make It Funky, but became the legendary track that everyone remembers. The stuttering drum pattern came from a malfunction while trying to loop the Honey Drippers Impeach the President on their SP-1200 sampler. The machine glitched and created magic.
Dance is easy to do. This dance is on and on and on.
According to Who Sampled, Top Billin' has been borrowed an incredible 288 times, including Mary J. Blige's Real Love and 50 Cent's I Get Money. That's generational influence from one accidental loop. Their debut album, What More Can I Say, and follow-up I Don't Care, were both titled after lines from this one revolutionary song.
Top Billin', that's what we get. Got it good, and since you under.
The beat sounds so simple, just drums and that hypnotic loop. But something about the imperfection made it perfect. Sometimes the mistakes become more important than the plan. This was hip-hop discovering that technical limitations could create artistic breakthroughs, from hip-hop into completely unexpected territory.
I get money, money I got. Stunts call me honey if they feel.
Number 2. UFO by ESG. This Bronx dance punk band's 1981 song UFO became one of the most unlikely hip-hop staples ever recorded by people who weren't even trying to make hip-hop. The track features otherworldly sounds, clanging percussion, noisy guitars, and minimalist funk-punk aesthetics that rappers couldn't resist sampling. Big Daddy Kane used UFO for his classic Ain't No Half Steppin', and countless producers borrowed its industrial percussion throughout the 80s and 90s. Much like Liquid Liquid's Cavern, ESG bridged underground rock and hip-hop in ways that seemed impossible on paper. Throughout the 80s, ESG wasn't even a hip-hop group. They were punk musicians who happened to create sounds that fit perfectly with hip-hop's sample-based production revolution. The band proved hip-hop's boundaries were limitless, drawing from punk, funk, rock, and electronic music to create something entirely new. When a punk band becomes essential to hip-hop history, you know the genre's definition just expanded forever. Everything we've covered leads to this moment, the group that changed everything. Number 1. Critical Beatdown by Ultramagnetic MCs.
For every rapper must I be smacking them once, or twice in the face.
Before abstract hip-hop existed, Kool Keith and Said G were creating futuristic sounds that still haven't been fully understood or replicated. Their 1988 debut Critical Beatdown introduced revolutionary sampling techniques, using the EMU SP1200 sampler in ways that seemed impossible, chopping breaks into fragments so small they became unrecognizable.
Keith, Rap General Chief Executive, plus exquisitive mandatory.
The album was recorded mostly freestyled, with rhymes scribbled right before entering the booth, capturing raw energy that planned verses couldn't match. Said G's production influenced everyone from Public Enemy to MF Doom, establishing the entire underground aesthetic. The 1986 single Ego Trippin' was one of the first tracks to showcase the SP1200's capabilities. That drum machine would become hip-hop's golden standard for the next decade.
Places far, ducks would appear for the countdown, so you wait to rhyme and twist.
Despite modest chart performance, both The Source and Hip Hop Connection magazines listed Critical Beatdown in their top 100 charts as one of the best hip-hop albums ever created. Kool Keith's abstract stream of consciousness style and Said G's surgically chopped samples created the blueprint for underground hip-hop's entire aesthetic. This wasn't just music, it was time travel. They showed hip-hop its future before anyone else knew what was coming.
I'm ready to blow out like this. Altitude level, reaching forth.